UFC time. Okay, it's in the thumbnail. Jon Bones Jones, arguably the greatest UFC fighter of all time, is back. Okay, UFC 285. Is that what that is? UFC 285. I hope I got that right in the description. There's too many of these UFC numbers. It's way too high. But that is happening this weekend. We will be live streaming afterwards.
You sound real happy about it.
These fights don't end until about 1:30 in the morning. Okay. That is tough. But we will be up. We will be live streaming after the fight. He will be fighting Ciryl Gane for the vacant heavyweight title. B, what are your thoughts on this fight?
I think that it was another missed opportunity from the UFC. When Jon Jones first started talking about it, moving up to heavyweight, it was to fight Stipe Miocic, who was one of the greatest heavyweights of all time and was champion at the time. And he lost his title to Francis Ngannou in their rematch. And then it's okay, Jon Jones versus Francis Ngannou, which is a mega match, right? That UFC could only dream about. They don't have very many events like that, throughout their entire history. But they didn't want to pay Francis Ngannou what Francis Ngannou is worth, so Francis Ngannou walked away from the UFC, vacated the title, and now you're fighting Ciryl Gane, who is a talented fighter. He's a talented fighter, but he's not a box office fighter, and he just lost to Francis Ngannou, right? So he's not somebody who's going to sell pay-per-views for you. He's not the best at that weight, and it's just, it doesn't have the same kind of buzz that an Ngannou versus Jones fight would have, because people don't care or knows who Ciryl Gane is.
Ciryl Gane fought well against Ngannou when they fought. Like, he lost by decision, but also Francis Ngannou, he had like a torn ACL in that fight too.
Yeah, he was fighting on a torn ACL and won fairly easily.
Yeah, but that was Gane's first loss.
Mm-hmm.
He's a very skilled fighter, especially at that weight class. He moves really well, but Jon Jones he's different, man. And yes, he's been inactive. Like, that's the only thing that we can look at and have some doubt, is that it's been 2 years,
3 years, since
3 years, 3 years of inactivity. But I mean, he's been showing that he's been training the whole time. So I mean, he's not taking any hits. His body's healed up, and he has been training. Maybe a little ring rust or octagon rust might do him in.
Ring to it.
It doesn't. We'll call it ring rust. That might be the thing, but other than that, man, I see a dominant performance by Jon Jones, but we'll see. Look, Raven C says steroid Jones. Here we go. It wasn't steroids, it was cocaine. Okay.
Oh no, it was steroids in one of the
oh, that's right. When he knocked out Cormier.
Yeah.
Let
me tell you something. This whatever steroids he took did not do the knocking out there. Cormier was going to sleep no matter what on that kick.
Listen, man. It's still cheating, and
it is. This
is the thing about Jon Jones, man. This is the conundrum that we have with Jon Jones, is that like, he's just not fully committed to the sport, but he's clearly the best they've ever had. And like, fights like that, like, you didn't need to do that for Cormier. Now, granted, like, Cormier, the first time they fought, that was a great fight. Mm-hmm. And in this fight too, Cormier started out really strong. Yes, you and I can sit here and say, yeah, he would have beat him without the steroids, but you took the steroids. Mm-hmm. And people are going to wonder, because you're fighting that high level of a fighter, to where people are going to wonder that, especially Cormier, and you robbed yourself and Cormier of a big moment there. And Cormier's retired now. I was going to say they have to run it back, but Cormier's retired. Could he come out of retirement? I guess, but I don't know. That part that I did not like, but even that aside, man, I mean, he's the GOAT.